Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. It's Vay here with another Arc build video. This is a 1x1 compact design, an improvement on my last design. It'll have a second smithy that's easier to place, forges, which is the main improvement, as well as almost all the features the previous one had, excluding the ridiculous amount of mortar and pestles for storage. This one still has 6 to 7, but not quite the 20 or 21 you could get in the previous design. These are the items we're going to need, but not in these quantities. These are random numbers. Start off with a stone and thatch foundation, as well as a pillar, ladders, thatch walls, preserving bin, bear traps, beds, and smithies. These are going to be our starting items. Place down a thatch foundation with a wooden pillar off the side, lowest snap point. Wooden pillar in the center, lowest snap point. You see how one of those is lower than the other? Means you're doing it right. Place the thatch foundation off the side, lowest snap point. Pillar in the middle of that, lowest snap point. Bring over a stone foundation underneath the original thatch foundation, lowest snap point, and bring over that thatch foundation to the right, highest snap point. You can then remove all of the pillars, as well as that original thatch foundation you placed right here. This is where the 1x1 is going to go. This is a placeholder section. You're going to be placing down a wall right here, as well as a ladder on this side. Now, a little bit of explanation. If you look at your smithy, the anvil is always on the left-hand side. The anvil, using a bear trap, is the easiest part to move into another item. So, we're going to be placing it inside the preserving bin. You're going to line this preserving bin as far to the right as you can go up against this wall, and then as far in this direction as I do here. Just about there. You only have a sliver left on this foundation. Just to make sure you did it right, you're going to place down a foundation here, a bear trap there, and a wall. It should glow green even on the stone foundation snap point. You can then remove this thatch foundation, extend this one over here, place a ladder, and you can place your beds now. These can go in multiple different places, but I like to put them about right here. Next up, we're going to be placing our first smithy. You're going to want to K-mode this. Remember where the smithies are on your hotbar. If you haven't seen the previous video, the goal is to get the anvil and part of this body of the smithy inside of the trap. So it's going to take lots of back and forth. Sometimes it can take up to 5 whole minutes to do this, but when you go back and forth, you reset the bear trap a few times, reset the smithy, go back up the ladder, try it again, you'll eventually get it so it looks something like that. You see how it cuts off the part of the body of the smithy. You don't want to go too far, just about enough so that much pokes out. You can double check that wall placement on that side of the bear trap if you're paranoid. Place down a ladder on this side, get out a bear trap, all the way to the left, a little bit down, and now we're placing our second smithy. This one's going to come like a T intersection here, just short of the end of that previous smithy. Wonderful. You can then pick up this bear trap. You can pick it up. Actually, you want to first test before you pick up that smithy if you can place this. If this is able to glitch all the way in here, go ahead and place it there, but for me it's not. So we're going to have to pick up the bear trap and do it the long way. Place down this right here. Place down 1 and 2. Make sure these aren't too far apart. Now we're going to test this wall placement once again, make sure everything is ship shape. It still places. If it's not placing there, all of a sudden, it's your forges that are the issue. Pick them up, move them farther forward, move them close together, maybe retry this smithy placement. There's a few things you can do to get rid of that issue. These beds, since we will be raising this foundation, will spawn you on top of these smithies, and you will have to crouch and then sneak out the door to get out, but you will not be stuck anywhere. Next up, we're going to be placing our next foundation on that snap point coming from that bottom thatch foundation right here. Wonderful. You can remove this thatch foundation. Now, this wall can place easily, that one cannot, this one can, that one can. Everything's looking good. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to extend out this top foundation over the side and remove this one. And we're going to start placing our mortar and pestles as well as our standing torches. So mortar and pestle placement is going to be in this direction, and it's going to be placed as close to these smithies as we can. So place down a bear trap, and then a few of these, and try and place down as many as you can. Usually they come out in groupings of 3, sometimes 4, sometimes you'll get really lucky and get a string of 5 or 6. But generally you're going to get little pods of 3. One, just one that time. If you only get one, you can of course, with the new update, pick up mortar and pestles quite easily, as well as any other item, which makes for this whole process to become a lot easier. You can be as picky or not as picky as you want with this step. It's all up to personal preference. Come on. Alright, we're just going to place this right here. If you want to keep on repeating that, that'll eventually give you more mortar and pestles. But for now, we're just going to move on with however many are there. 6, I believe. So you could probably fit 9 here, if you were patient enough. Now we're going to want to extend this top foundation, and this one over here. Everything should look like this. Same situation with placing the walls. Double check everything. Not there, there, there. Everything's looking good. We can then remove this thatch foundation. Pull out a bear trap. Place it right there. As well as some standing torches. This one is the same as the mortar and pestles. And while you can't pick these up, they are super cheap to make. Something like that. You can get a row here, you can get up to 4 if you want, but I'm going to settle at 2. You can then demolish all of these thatch placeholders. Place a wooden fence foundation right on the edge here, just like so. Pull out your stone walls, your stone ceilings, your metal interior door, as well as all of your stone door materials. Everything looks like that. You want to place down all of the easy to place walls first, as well as this outer door frame, followed by the inner door frame. First the outer door, open it from the interior, and the interior door. The exterior wall, you're going to need another thatch foundation off to the side here. A bear trap right around here. And then you can place this wall, make sure it is snapped to the stone foundation and at the highest snap point possible. Pick up all your thatch and all of your mess. You can then place down your ceilings. You can double layer those. And voila! One by one. A few notes. You can place these mortar and pestles back a little ways, farther than I did, into the smithies in order to not get this clipping. If that bothers you, you can also place a ramp over the front, which will clean all that up. And back here, there's a lot of issues with this section. This part is coming through a little bit. If you want to fix that, move it back just a few pixels while placing everything. The log from the smithy might show up no matter what, but it's really not noticeable. The preserving bin is the main issue. A few pixels can change that quite easily. This is another one of my examples of this build with the wall missing. The point is, here it is. The preserving bin barely shows through here at all, especially when you're farther away. So just a few pixels can sink that back into the build. On the inside, you can remove this fence foundation, and you actually have a reasonable amount of room in here. You can get one player in, stand off to the side, and get a second player in if you want to. You can access both of your forges. 1, 2, 1, 2. You can access the preserving bins, the smithies, there and there, as well as your mortar and pestles down below. These are going to be the trickiest things to access. And in this particular model, the standing torches were lost to our metal door frame, but if you place them back a little ways, they should be fine. Those are a little bit finicky, and it might take you a few tries of placing the doors in order to get them close enough to the full build, but it should work out if you have the patience. This is an improvement on my previous 1x1 design. I hope you guys build it, and I hope you guys enjoy it.